Hi, to be established. It's Tuesday. So I've just finished a long day of like 6 hours worth of classes. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and answer Brian's question. Since Brian didn't specify what timeline that he was asking for, I'm just gonna stick with my university experience, basically because that's what I can remember most vividly at this point in my life. If you want anything like further back, I may have to spend more time thinking about it, and I don't have that much time today. So, I think the best class that I had in university was a history class, which was world history to 1550. And it was a really good class. Professor was excellent. I've never seen such a great use of PowerPoint slides in actual complement to the lecture. I mean, basically, I would take all of this professor's history classes if I could, because even though it was a really really tough class, I got a B in it or whatever, but that I felt like that was the most rewarding experience of my academic career. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but but I mean, like, I worked really hard for it. For my grade, I enjoyed all the effort that I put into participating in the class, preparing for the class, studying for the class. I enjoyed the challenge. Um, I basically think the greatest compliment I got out of that class was the professor saying that I should become a history major, which really tempted me at the time because I was just starting my first class at the shared college. And when I was living in Dorothy Cottage with Esther and Rachel, and I was like, computer science? I don't know what I'm doing. But don't worry, it turned out okay. And then I should probably move on because I'm just going to babble about this particular history professor's class all day because it was so amazing. Too bad I don't have the syllabus somewhere. I know I do. It's just not here in Canada. It's at home. So, but that's okay. So, moving on. Then the worst class I've ever had is basically a class in my major. I actually had to go back to my unofficial transcript to find out which class it was because I had basically blocked almost all memory of it out of my mind because it was such a torturous experience. It was a computer science class, and so I'm gonna bet that there was some sort of lab component because I honestly don't remember. Because again, I blocked out all memory of this class. The class was operating systems, I think. I don't really remember what we covered. I kept the book, I kept all my notes, so I can always go back and review. But my notes weren't really that great because basically the professor would read off of a PowerPoint that he did not prepare himself. The professor actually wrote, well, he wrote some of the labs or some of the questions that he asked us. But basically the PowerPoint slide was the PowerPoint slide that came with the textbook. And so the professor would be like clicking the mouse and the slides would be, they would be going along, and then like all of a sudden the professor would be like, this guy is taking too long to say what I want him to say. And I'm like, honestly, if you took the time to edit these slides or to even be still my heart, make your own slides, this wouldn't be a problem. But this professor did not, he put in some effort. Professor was in computer science. He knew what he was doing. He's capable. He just was not a teacher. Bless his heart. I mean, I went through a lot of classes with this professor, but it was a painful experience every time. But operating systems was the most painful. So, yeah. So I'm just going to stop talking about my traumatic experiences now and say that I miss Rachel Green very much. I miss her face. I wish I could see her more often than I do because thankfully Esther uploads her videos, so I'm able to see her smiling face. I did talk to Rachel like the Friday before Labor Day, Yeah, that's when I realized there wasn't going to be a video on the Friday before Labor Day when I was talking to Rachel because she was traveling. So I shall talk to y'all later and have a great week. Sorry for the long video. Take care.